Let's have a look at the brush tool. We'll go into the toolbar here and we'll select the brush. Now the brush in some ways works like the pencil tool, but in other ways it's a lot more flexible. But one of the big differences is the pencil draws with the stroke only. The brush works with the fill. So if I select the brush tool here and I select a fill color of red and I begin to paint, notice that we get our nice red stroke. It doesn't matter what color I set our stroke for, it doesn't do anything because it's only doing the fill. So let's select that and delete it. Let's go back to the brush tool and you'll notice we have the smoothing options here, and this works just like it did in the pencil tool. If I turn the smoothing all the way up, I can go rough and it smoothens it off. If I turn it all the way down, we get a more rough effect. So let's select those, we'll get rid of those, and we'll grab our brush tool again, and this time we'll put our smoothing to about 50%. Now there's some more options down here that we can't see off the screen, so we'll just hit the little two-sided panel, and now we can see all the different options. One of the options for working with the brush is pressure sensitivity. If I turn this on, and you happen to have a pressure-sensitive tablet, if you push light, you get a thin line, and you push hard, you get a dark line. So you can actually control the thicknesses of your strokes. This is very useful. And unless you have a pressure-sensitive tablet, such as a Wacom tablet, you won't be able to take advantage of that. The other option is tilt. I can actually set a tilt angle, and now as I tilt this, I can get different things working on the pen. Just make you aware of those two options. Let's go back to the brush tool, and if we'll look under here, this is the size. So if we choose a smaller brush here, we're painting with a smaller brush. We'll turn the pressure sensitivity and the tilt sensitivity off. So now we're just working normally like you would with a mouse. And we can increase the size of this. And you can see we get a bigger stroke, bigger fill. Now we've got a second option here. This is the brush shape. So we can go for square. So we can draw with the more square shapes. Or we can have a oval shape. Now this in itself, let's grab the oval, is very interesting for calligraphic effects. Let's just select everything, and we'll just delete that really quick. Let's choose a different color for perhaps more of a blue. And now if you use this with the tilt sensitivity, you can tilt your tablet and notice that you can get a very calligraphic effect. Very interesting. So we'll turn that off. So grab our brush again. And there's another thing to be aware of. Let's go back to our normal shape here. We can choose our fill. Now if we want to add a stroke to this, we can use it by using the ink bottle tool. Select the ink bottle tool and just click, and notice it'll put a stroke on there. We can select that stroke at any time, double click it to select it, and we could change the color of it. So just to make you aware of the fact you can actually put a stroke on there, but if you want to do it, you have to use the ink bottle, which is used for adding strokes, and of course we know the paint bucket is used for adding fills. So let's select this again, and now we're going to go to a document here which you have in your source files called brush, and we've got some different shapes here. We've got some different modes that the paintbrush tool works in. Let's have a look at these modes now. We'll just click back to single column. If you look here, we've got the normal. And then when we use normal, let's grab, say, a red. And now we just paint a normal, just paints normal. Let's choose the second option here, paint fills. Now, if I begin to paint with my brush here, notice, actually I don't think I selected it there. Let's undo that. Now with our paint fills on, notice as I paint, only the fills are painted, and notice the stroke is protected. Let's choose the other option, which is paint behind. Now if I paint here, notice only the background is painted, and it doesn't go on to any of our shape there. We'll grab the fourth option, which is paint selection. Now, it's not going to paint anywhere if I begin to paint right now. See, it'll just go away. But if I use a selection tool here and I select something, and now I begin to paint, notice only the selected area will be painted. You can see this is a very cool and useful option. Let's grab the last option now, which is paint inside, which means if I start with my cursor on the inside of the shape and begin to paint, only that inside will be painted. If I start on the outside and paint, then only the outside will be painted, and I can demonstrate this by drawing in that corner there. So wherever you start painting is what it sees as your inside area. We could change the color of that. And notice now it's only going inside that other area. I could grab another color and start now. It's only going to paint inside the red. As you can see that, because it's seeing that red as the inside. So that's the different painting options using the brush tool.